Ordinals are causing a stir on the Bitcoin blockchain. Canada forces a major crypto exchange out. And Elon Musk finds a new CEO for Twitter. Let's get into it. So first of all, let's look at the markets. So we've had a bit of a drop recently. Bitcoin under 27,000. Ethereum did drop below 1,800, but we're back above that now. Nearly over a 7.5% drop in the last 7 days for Bitcoin. I think one of the main reasons for this is maybe what's happening with ordinals. There's a bit of kind of disruption. We'll talk about that in a bit. And also the kind of meme pump mania is over, which was short-lived, which was expected. Whether we'll get another pump, I don't know. I mean, again, predictions, I said this in my last video, predictions vary. Some say Bitcoin's going to 40,000 and some say Bitcoin's going back down to 15,000. Personally, I haven't got a clue, but I'm just going to continue to dollar cost average because I think anything below 30,000, 35,000 for Bitcoin is a great price. I'll probably still continue to DCA even under 40,000, probably below 50,000 as well. And then it probably won't be until we hit all-time highs again that I'll start DCAing out of my positions. But my target for DCAing out, in other words, taking profits, is around the 80,000, 100,000 mark. So that'll probably be sometime next year or the year after that. I've got a long-term mindset. I'm not planning on selling all of my Bitcoin, but I will be taking profits on the next Bitcoin halving, the next bull run. Anyway, let's get into the topics for today. So, ordinals are causing a stir on the Bitcoin blockchain. Some people are enjoying them and some people are worried of what it's doing to the network. There's a divided opinion for the BRC20 tokens or the BRC20 mints, and obviously this is due to the fact that we can now create NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain. And it's almost like, because it's so decentralized, it's really almost just a sense of having a stamp on a historic blockchain, which is obviously Bitcoin. And because people want to put their own stamp on the blockchain, they're creating NFTs for the sake of it. I don't think it costs much. There's a few platforms now that allow people to do it a lot easier. And I think it can cost from around $12 to $50, sometimes in the $100. It depends how much of the block you want to use up for your NFTs. And it's obviously causing the network to run wild. Transaction fees are exploding, which for people who are using Bitcoin as a currency, so in countries like Africa or continents like Africa and obviously El Salvador use it as a currency, it's obviously not very efficient because obviously the transaction fees are obviously very high with the network running so rapidly with all these ordinals. Personally, I think Bitcoin is more of a store of value. It shouldn't really be used as a currency per se. But obviously for countries that are using it as a currency because of their normal fiat money not really being, just way too inflated, obviously it's a problem for them. So they're finding other coins to use. And there are plenty out there. I mean, even stable coins you could, but again, you're tying yourself back to the US dollar with stable coins. But there are alternatives. So it's just a matter of whether they, the network sorts itself out or they decide to use something other than Bitcoin. Personally, I have not made an ordinal yet, but I do plan on making one, just so I can stamp something onto the Bitcoin blockchain so it's there forever. It's like stamping your mark on something that is going to probably outlive yourself, which is quite a cool thing to do. So but yeah, I mean, there's obviously debates going on and votes on whether they should do something about it. But again, it's the opinions are split, and yeah, it's interesting to see where that one goes, really. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So Binance pulls out of Canada amid new crypto regulations. So same old story. Regulations forcing innovation out. And obviously CZ being Canadian, well, he sees himself as a Canadian, being raised there for the majority of his life. It's probably not an easy choice to make. He probably wants to Binance to operate in Canada, but with new tightened regulations for crypto asset trading platform in recent months, with the introduction of a pre-registration process. It says here, unfortunately, new guidance related to stablecoins and investor limits provided to crypto exchanges makes the Canada market no longer tenable for Binance at this time. So just another story of regulations not properly regulating crypto, but more forcing it out. And yeah, and the thing is, there's options. That's once upon a time, regulations could probably regulate by force because there wasn't any other options. It wasn't so easy to move a business from one country to another because it was very much, building orientated, like factories and things like that. But now with remote working and being able to just work for a business anywhere in the world, it's so easy just to move a business to another country now. So as soon as regulations in one country don't fit the needs for your business, you just move to the next country that does. Obviously, the main country that Binance is operating in now is Dubai, because they literally have like practically no regulations on crypto there at the moment. I think they have a few regulations, but they're very easygoing. They still make it very easy for crypto companies to operate there, so it makes it quite one that a lot of crypto companies want to work in, and it just brings innovation to the country. Hence why it's building so quickly there. It's growing so quickly in Dubai, and that's one of the reasons why. But yeah, I just thought this story, it's just another kind of outline of how bad regulations are, especially in the kind of US area of the world. And yeah, with businesses being able to move so easily now, so freely across the world, as soon as a regulation doesn't line up with a business, that business is just going to move. It's as simple as that. And the last story, and you've probably heard of this already if you're obviously on Twitter, but Elon Musk finally finds someone to take over Twitter for him. This was because of pressure being put on him, because of obviously it's taking his attention away from other projects like Tesla and SpaceX. Shareholders of those businesses obviously don't like the fact that Elon Musk has his attention elsewhere, obviously on Twitter. And I think Tesla's dropped about 30%, I think just this year, its share price. So yeah, he was always going to find someone to replace himself as CEO of Twitter, because although I think he finds it exciting, I think it's not kind of it's where his priorities lie. I think his heart's still very much with Tesla and SpaceX. But yeah, so it's Linda Yaccarino. I'm not sure if I said that right, but she was the NBC Universal's former head of advertising, and she's going to be starting in 6 weeks' time. I think the general kind of idea of bringing her in is that she's obviously got good ties with lots of big brands already working at NBC Universal, and she's going to come kind of almost steady the ship at Twitter. It's kind of the Wild West at the moment, and a lot of people like that. I certainly am enjoying Twitter as a user, but I think that kind of Wild West kind of feel isn't very safe for brands to advertise on there at the moment. You know, it's unpredictable. You could advertise something on there, and then a week later, something might happen on the platform that doesn't really line up with your business's kind of ethos or views, and makes things a bit difficult. Whereas I think she's going to steady the ship a bit. She's going to make it more accessible and more she'll just make it more accessible, I think, to big brands to advertise on there. So it's less risky. That's the word I was looking for. Less risky for them to advertise on there, and that's how Twitter makes its money. So it's a big deal to make sure that that's obviously running smoothly. And she actually they actually had a debate on recently as well. I think it was like last month. They were talking about obviously Twitter's Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter, and says here that they seem to have quite a good rapport together. Their political views lined up as well. So that I can imagine that was probably another reason why Elon Musk chose her, is because they're going to have similar views. They're going to probably have similar ideas of what they want Twitter to be, and obviously her background and her expertise on bringing in big kind of brand deals and advertising. But yeah, this just says here, the increased pressure on Elon Musk to return his focus to companies like Tesla, as shares have fallen 30% over the last year. And again, this just says here, she's going to be a steady hand for the company who can rebuild trust with brands. I mean, personally, I don't really know too much about her, so I can't say whether this is a good move or not, but from what I've heard about her, it sounds like she's definitely a good fit, and the fact that obviously her views line up with Elon Musk's will hopefully mean not much actually changes for the user, like me and you, because personally I'm enjoying Twitter at the moment. I think it's really exciting. The fact that there's less almost regulations on there. You can definitely view your opinions without anyone shadow banning you and things like that, just because those opinions don't line up with theirs. But yeah, I mean, all in all, exciting times. I hope it does go well for her and she does a good job, because I'm a big Twitter user. And so they're the three things I wanted to talk about. I'm getting a little bit better with this long form content stuff now. Still stuttering on a few words, but hopefully I can improve for you guys as time goes on. And I'm enjoying making them, so I'm hoping, and I hope you guys enjoy watching them too. But yeah, that's it for now. Until next time, see ya.